The Not on My Watch show. I'm your host, Dr. Baruch. And my co host, Sister Halise, was not able to make it in today, but she's with us in spirit. But we do have a special guest who is in our studio today and is going to be talking to us about any and everything because she's an encyclopedia and she has been everywhere, done everything good, and is going to be giving us input and advice on things that we need to do in our lives in order to better our position. As right now we look up and this is the day that most people are going to the voting booths and casting a vote for someone to guide them and lead them into a better place. Yeah, okay. We're going to leave that like that, just right there, because I think we all know that at the end of the day, the folk that are being selected to supposedly lead are not really the leaders. And those that are leading and have been leading for some time now have demonstrated a consistency with regard to people that look like me and maybe you. And that is that they don't have our best interest at heart. So let us expand this conversation and bring on my sister, Sister Liesa L. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Peace and love, family. Thank you, Dr. Baruch. Wow. All is well. All is well. And I really like that. So let's show the way. Let's get started. Let's show the way.
Because people are looking,
Yes.
so people are looking for answers. They want to know how do we get to where we are and how do we get out from where we are. So let's get a little background on you. Who is Liesa L? Just so that people will understand why then I'm asking you certain questions. They'll understand it because of your background. So tell us a little about yourself.
Well, today Liesa L is a trailblazer, a pioneer, a curious spiritual woman interested in self-governance, self-autonomous. And Liesa L is, I won't say a victim, but a producer of corporate America from the past and learning that always believing that things just didn't feel right, and it wasn't that the place in corporate America wasn't for me. That the world as it was presented didn't feel right. It was. I mean, I wasn't in control of my life. So with that, been multimillionaire 3 times before the age of 35. In contracting, federal government contracting. Mortgage and real estate, and with those life experiences in those industries, as you know, we look at it today, our economy has fallen, and understanding that getting out of that system will make a better quality lifestyle for myself. So it's been a journey, a long journey. And the awakening, if you will, of realizing that enough is enough and I had to take self-control of my life, then that's when we began to really know thyself and get to know thyself. I wanted to always know what made this car go.
Sure.
And so with that, that's, basically the interest in self-learning and the curiosity and connecting with the science of life. That's basically what helped me.
Okay, so I've got a question that I know you have an answer to, and our show today is we got 2 hours. We won't necessarily need to use the full 2 hours, but you and I can go. So
Yes.
we'll do what we can to keep it exciting and keep people out there interested in all this great information that you're sharing. Let me ask this question. Who were you? Who are you? And who will you become? Is that clear?
Wow, that is perfect. Who was I?
Sure. Because all of us, we started somewhere.
Of
right?
course,
Mm-hmm.
of course. Wow. Back sometime, some 47 years ago, I was a young girl growing up with a vision and a dream that I wanted to be someone. I wanted to be the president of the United States. I can remember saying that at a very early age, but along the way, along the journey, growing up on a farm in southern Maryland, understanding that we had to eat what we, in order to eat, we had to grow it, we had to farm it. Never didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. Hard work, perseverance. Always been a hard worker, accused of being a workaholic, and love people, love mentoring, always been, leader of the pack, because I feel as though, if the Creator created me to be the Creator's masterpiece, everyone else has the same obligation to the universe that I do. So at a very young age, I learned that my purpose was to come, to be, and to lead, and to leave. And that's who I was. I mean, I always say, and people tell me often, I say that I'm an ordinary girl. That was an ordinary girl, but I've learned to accept my position as an extraordinary being in the now. And all of the in between has helped make me the person that I am. Oh, excuse me, let me retract person. The being that I am today, to exercise and apply natural law to be able to move forward, to transition from this place. And in between is learning along the way, as we all do. Probably around, maybe 9 years ago, and 9 is a cycle of completion of life. 9 years ago, understanding and learning the power of who we as a people are, and beginning to apply and move in the position of knowing who I am. And it's a process, and we all have, the same tools, the same arm, leg, arm, head, Allah, to be able to, do what we need to do along this way. So, that's simply me, was.
Well, I get it, and I think our audience is one where they're a little bit more enlightened than the average Joe, if you will. So when we look up and we realize that you have made this metamorphosis, you have gone through this change, the change of like a caterpillar to a butterfly, right? Mm-hmm. That you now are extending your wings and you are preparing for what is to come. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what it is that is to come. Who will Liesa L be 10 years from now, or 9 years from now, right?
Well, I think what I know is Liesa L is transformed into the natural being of Phoenix Sundance, but Liesa L will be a mind, body, and spirit brand to other beings, to be able to help guide and lead them to live a life like I did. And it's all based on my blueprint, what I did. I wouldn't teach and be if I didn't do it myself. And to be able to educate and enlighten and empower people to be the best them that they can be. And, just living the rewards and results of the work. Everyone has to put in their work. And, a lot of people, Dr. Baruch, really don't know that they can turn their light on, if you will, inside of them, to be able to change the direction of which they're going in their life, to be able to, help to alleviate or eradicate disease from their life, but you can. I mean, to help know thyself. That's the ultimate for me. That's my purpose on earth, is to be able to come to help people to be the best them they can be, no matter where they are, at what place, time, space, emotion, physical in their lives. And that's what I do, and I don't claim it in the physical personally. I know and I receive my duty, if you will, of I share with friends and colleagues and family circles all the time. I know I'm the angel of correction, to come to the earth to do a spiritual duty. So to basically guide people and teach them how to be the best them they can be, and know thyself, to be able to, get to 100, be Lucy, if you will. The movie Lucy, and I, Josh with the youngins and the elders, to say, hey, we don't use 10%, we don't even use 8% of our total self. So if you like what the energy that you're feeling, when I meet people all the time, they're like, wow, what are you on? And it's like life energy, but we have to get there. It's a process, and we all are on this journey of life. Some of us are a little further along than others are a little further along than us, but it's still that same journey. And wherever around the globe, we're all spiritual beings, and it's either on or off, up or down, right or left. It's not kind of in between. Oh, I think I do. Oh, I think I will. No, it's either, if your situation is this way in the negative, and you don't like what you're feeling, you don't like what you're doing, you just don't like, and that's negative. Guess what? If you have new information and new tools, different, you're going to do different. So only you can change your situation, but so many people do not know that. And that's my ultimate. That's what I do, and I love it, because I don't care where you are in your life. Way down, I've flown with the highest and laid with the lowest, so I can get down there with you. It doesn't matter. I was there at one point too. I mean, that's the nature of the beast in life. But, once you understand the science of life, existence, then you know how to operate, and especially knowing how to operate you. We're driving down a highway, and you put yourself in the analogy of a car. Well, if I go over in your lane, Dr. Baruch, I'm going to hit your car. Go over in the other person's lane, we're going to crash. I have to be in charge of that car that I'm driving. So make that car your life, you, self, and keep it in your lane. Mind your business. Stay in your lane. Mind your manners. Follow the rules to keep. But everybody don't know that they can do that.
Okay, I've got another question for you now. The reality is, not only do people not know that they can do that, but there's opposition, and maybe there isn't. And after you explain, we'll have a better understanding. But what is it that's preventing us from actualizing and becoming this better 100% self? What is it that is either in us, or what is it that's working from outside of us that's putting us in a space where we are not able to be 100?
Well, along my journey of learning through my own processes, Dr. Baruch, I've learned that the answer is self. By my choices and decisions, I kept myself in situations that weren't good for me. I kept myself doing things that weren't good for me. So I'm going to have to say self. And once I began to learn and know thyself, when you know thyself, it's not a belief. It's not a kind of in between. When you know something, you know, and that's how you move. And, we get information all day, every day, to be able to process and apply. And that's another area where, how can one get there? If you don't apply what you learn and what you know, then again, that's self-sabotage. That's spiritual suicide. So what's the point of learning, studying, and what's the point if only you're going to verbalize it? Well, when you take a risk, if you want to call it a risk, when you take a risk on yourself, this is the reward you get. And it's only, once you learn something, you research it, you do your own due diligence, and then you apply it in your own life. And that's what worked for me. And again, I only speak on experience. Mm-hmm. I only speak on my blueprint, how I got to this place today where I am, and, charting it along the way to document for others to be able to follow, and more importantly, teaching, circles and groups of people who are curious, they want to know different. I simply, use the same blueprint, which was it's ancient science. It's our astro DNA chart, our natal chart.
Okay. Now, are we talking health? Are we talking politics? Are we talking economics? Are we talking culture? Are we talking spirituality? Help my audience understand specifically what it is that you have been able to blueprint as far as a success, as far as a pathway, a GPS map that will get people to this ultimate level.
Well, I'm talking total life. Health, wealth, spirituality. Mm-hmm. And health in the sense of, we are bombarded, we are diseased, we are broken with health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, economical health. But at the end of the day, health is health, and we have to correct. And one of the ways of me doing this is we have to correct the mental health to mental wealth, to mental wellness, because, our health has been, it's our health industry is succumbing. Our people are losing their lives, losing their races, losing their fights because of choices of health. It's all about, Dr. Baruch, decisions and choices that one self makes. So what we're really talking about when you mention politics, economics, whatever, we're talking about health, wealth, and spirituality, because once your health is corrected, then the universe will automatically give you abundance. But it can't. We have so many blockages. Your inner health, your spiritual health. I do mind, body, and soul challenges, self challenges all the time. And that's with self. I don't need to promote it with anyone else, because if I can't do it with self first, then where am I getting my confidence? Where am I getting my gain? Other than doing it with others. And, we get into egotistical, we get into other emotions. So again, bringing it back to those three simple things, the power of three is the blessed Trinity for me. And I don't mean that in a religious way. I mean that in a spirituality way and in a spiritual way. And so total package comes from when your health is good. We have to be mindful of what we put in our mouths. And I don't just mean food, what we see, what air we take in, what we hear, the company that we're around, the circles that you're in, the what your skin has to deal with. It's different. It's a lot of different energies. It's a lot of different sources that we have to be protected from. So, once we get those three basic, simple elements under control, self-control, that's what we as the people need more of, self-control. Be able to manage yourself better. We are all here to manage these meat suits. And in the meat suit is a spirit, is an energy. It's up to you to keep your meat suit at its best so that you can move your spirit. How if your meat suit is looking negative, I know coming to you, we have to do some balancing. It's some inner negativity that's causing life not to move forward in the manner of abundance, the law of abundance, law of love. So, and it's not about what party you're with. It's not about what church or religious affiliation you're with. It's not about how many acronyms you have behind your name, your fraudulent name. It's not how many dollars you have in your pocket. All of those things are the reason why we as a people are in the way that we are. And once those are corrected, then we're on the other side, because it can only be two ways, positive or negative.
Okay, we're talking today to Sister Liesa L., and she's talking to us about life and about this work, this life work that must be done in order for us to put ourselves in the proper space, in order for us to actualize, in order for us to be all that we can be. And earlier you mentioned that you're a trailblazer and a pioneer. Now, is that to say that you're going someplace that no one has never been?
Well, I think that in that case, we all are going someplace where no one has ever been. We're actually living in those times today as we speak. But I think it's more so in the sense of trailblazing along this journey of life and understanding self-worth and the value that we as a people have, and knowing all along that we've had this value all the way back to our ancestors, and being guided by the moon, and raising food by the sun. So we've known that it's always come from our ancestors, but we've never applied it. We've never trailblazed to use it along the way. So that's the sense in what I'm saying as far as a trailblazer, being able to connect with true law, natural law, legal and lawful law in this United States of America, the corporation. So that's what I mean as a trailblazer, to be able to apply processes and procedures that are legal and lawful for our people to be able to be at their powerful, fullest potential. And that's, where we can't get there as a group or a flock of people if we're all disarrayed and diseased.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get under your fingernails a little bit.
Oh, wow.
What, I'm suspecting that this is an ongoing process. And I'll assume, maybe that's dangerous, but that you have not completed this journey, that there's work yet to be done. Where do you find yourself needing to concentrate the greatest amount of effort, or where do you find yourself needing to do the most work on Liesa L.?
Liesa L. is definitely a journey in progress. Today, Dr. Baruch, I live my life based on the Creator, of course. I live my life living moment to moment. And that has been an acquired pace. I mean, and spiritually, gracefully, I've earned it, and I know I've earned it. So I'm living the rewards of what the Creator has given me. And with that, I mean, it's an ever evolving project, if you will. But at the same time, I'm always in the right place at the right time to be able to share, to help in crises, to guide, to lead, to speak, to touch, to heal, you know. So wherever the Creator has me, it's like muscle movement, and that's simply the truth. It's organic truth.
Okay. And so is it safe to say that financially you are in the best place that you've been? Is it safe to say that your health is the best that it's been? Is it safe to say that I'm gonna step out into some I don't know, I'm gonna trouble some still waters? You know, what's going on with Liesa L and her relationship life? You know, how does all of this play in to impact your life, especially in areas that people are, you know, they've made, you know, money, relationships, and money and relationships like the two most important things in their lives. That becomes it. It's like, and it's really, you get down to the root of it and it becomes pleasure. So I want you to answer for me, you know, again, you know, where you are with regard to relationships, where you are with regard to, and not just relationships as a concept, but specifically, how is, you know, Liesa L in her relationship, or what is your relationship goal or objective? Is there a relationship with another being, or is this a relationship with the universe, you know? And then I also want to throw a word out there, because it's something that I've been dealing with and speaking on quite frequently here of late, and that is the illusion. Because we, you know, I find it sometimes challenging that we use the English language, and the English language, I think, is limiting in its ability to articulate organic truth and what is authentic. So I look at the English language and I find it falls short. So I want to get a little bit beneath the surface and inquire of you, you know, just where are you in these areas, and maybe what it is that you did, you know, if you haven't explained it already, what it is that you did in order to get success. Let's talk specifically about your finances, and let's talk about relationships.
Okay. Finances. Well, with finances, where I am today is, again, as I mentioned earlier, coming from a lifestyle, a past life of creating millions for myself, self-made millionaire 3 times in my life before I was 35, have a very, very, very huge base of respectable and respected colleagues, and, you know, around the globe. I've built a very huge network of powerful energy sources around the globe. And with that, I'll say that the Creator has always given me the best of everything, lived a very good life. So I thought, because everything that what was really wasn't. And so with all the money, the power, the stuff, the businesses, the traveling, the jet setting from here to wherever, 5 cities in 2 weeks, can't measure. That was priceless. So I thought, cannot measure up to today the wealth that I enter and overstand know I am as this person, to the point of I'm drafting my notice to advise the globe that we are energy, a commodity, a valuable source of frequency, currency. So with that, I want my own money. And people know that I have this saying, I'm going to be on my coin cute. Because that's the way that it's supposed to be. And so with that, operating in commerce, I'm navigating my way through with all of the information and processes and knowing that I've gained, navigating my way through to be more in control of what I exchange. And I don't, I haven't really used money in working on the last 39 months to be able to barter and exchange in a way to where it can't, because we have, as a natural person, I operate on, you can't infringe on my natural right with taxes. So if I use your tool that affords you the opportunity to take, rob, and destroy, then I'm still playing your game with your game pieces. So I'm working in a way of I'll play the game, we'll play the game, but we want to play the game with our game pieces and our application of moving our own pieces. And that's what I'm out front trailblazing for us today.
Okay. And in the area of relationships, as that's a hot button now, there's so many of us that are trying to figure out, well, what happened? You happen to have lived long enough to experience a time when there were whole families in our community, when there was mom and dad and the kids and everybody was happy and healthy, and you didn't have anybody locked up, and nobody was walking around with an ankle bracelet on, and it was just a different world, especially if you're in the country. But here in the city, I was able to experience that life here in Washington, D.C. and Prince George's County until it was like the mid to late 70s and the early 80s really brought on a transition. And all of a sudden, we saw the deterioration and the decline of relationships in our community. And I would suspect that as you are in pursuit of this better self, that at some point along the way, you wouldn't mind some company, right? Talk to me. So what is our status there? What is our objective there? What is the meaning? What is the purpose of relationships, and where do you fit in all of that?
Well, relationships, wow, we have relationships all day, every day. And as I, continue this quest of living moment to moment, relationships are very important. And I pride myself on relationships, powerful, peaceful, positive relationships. And over my, time of existence here on earth, when relationships don't prove peaceful and positive for me in my inner space, in my inner circle, I remove myself. Some of them take a little longer than others, or others a little longer than them, but at the same time, if relationships are two or more, and when we have an opposing factor in our relationships and we make our adjustments, because it can only be one side or the other, and we have to make a decision that, hey, look, no matter what, if you document it or not, you still feel inside that if it's not working and you're not in control of the other party, then I got to make a decision to remove myself because it's toxic. Then toxicity becomes unhealthy. And then, when, again, along the way, we find out different information, and it's like in the legal, when we find out that there's evidence of fraud, no matter how far along we are into that debt or paying that bill, a mortgage, 5 years, 10 years, fraud is fraud. So then you have new information, you have to do something different. And again, my soulful purpose is to be the best me I can be and satisfy me. And I can't allow, relationships that aren't good for me or at my best, not at my best interest at heart. Then I have to make a decision to get out. But of course, I've had to learn here lately that the universe sure loves me, because it's been me and the creator, the universe, for a good few years now. Mm-hmm. And with that, I know I'm promised that partner that I deserve.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's and I asked that question because I know it's a burning one, and people want answers to that. Mm-hmm. They want to figure out, mm-hmm. How to get success in that space, and maybe that's something that you teach in your class, mm-hmm. or Selah, or whomever yes. it is that's working with you is helping us navigate through that. Now, let's move into another space. You've mentioned numerous times in this interview terms that we might consider legal terms, terms that you hear spoken of in a courtroom, or terms that, when you're filling out a contract. And what I'd like to now get into is an area of knowledge that most of us don't even know exists. We don't even know, there are three levels of knowledge. There are three types of knowledge. There's what you know. There's what you don't know, but you don't know it. So it's like flying an airplane. I know I don't know how to fly an airplane. Although you put me up there and the pilot goes to sleep, we ain't going down without a struggle or fight, right? But, then there's that which we don't know that we don't know. We don't even know that we don't know that it's there. We don't even know that we don't know that this information is available to us and can be beneficial to us, mm-hmm. can empower us to change our circumstance. So when we think about the whole world of the court system, the judicial system, where we fit into that or don't fit into that, who has jurisdiction over us, and all of these other expressions that we're hearing a lot here of late with regard to the, as we hear the rise of a body of people. Some of them call themselves Aboriginal. Some of them call them Moorish and the Moorish Science Temple. And some of them are nationalists. You find different elements that are using these expressions and these terms, and some instances they don't seem to fare well for them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to work. But there's a lot of information out there that we're not being made privy to, which causes us to lean on the people that are in that whole arena. So we go get a lawyer, and we ask that lawyer to defend or to pursue after what it is that we're in search of. So as we seek to remedy what is now possibly a broken circumstance, a broken relationship with ourselves, and a broken understanding of where we fit in this jurisdiction, kind of give us some background and an understanding of what it is that you teach in that space, so that for those of us who are looking for remedy, we might find it. And we might know that there is a pathway out that we didn't even know we didn't know. I'm listening.
So with that, again, speaking only from experience, and just like, someone who doesn't know today, I didn't know some years back, and I had to find out, and to be able to, do due diligence and pay attention and take charge. And with that, I'll say that getting our health, our wealth, and our spirituality in order, all of that, because it's a system. It's a system and system simply means save yourself time, energy, and money. We all know that our country is built on acronyms. Everything is 3 letters, 4 letters, or take the first letter from the word and you make something, and then they put energy with it. So, with all the different titles of simply nationality, I go deeper than that. The origin is original or aboriginal, and the spirit, before it was the different labels of religion, before it's the different labels of who you are, no, we all are spirit. And it goes back to that energy, the energy that guides the birds to fly south in the winter, the trees to turn green in the spring, the leaves to turn colors, the water to, that's the energy that we serve. That's the energy that's being designed for our demise. So we have to take charge of self. And with that, Dr. Baruch, the remedy there is where you were born, what time you were born, and when you were born. And that can tell a lot about any being, where they're going, where they came from, where they are, and it'll help you to correct. So that's the remedy there. Knowing thyself.
In the United States of America, ever since, especially since the advent of the European incursion into this land, we haven't had the best of time. And we're getting more information now out about some of the things that have happened in our history and not so recent history, and some of them the recent history. We realize that we as melanated or people of color haven't been given a fair shake, and we've been dealt a really bad hand. And we're finding now that over 2 million people are incarcerated, and some 50% or thereabouts are people of color, if not more. And so these remedies that you speak of, and our understanding who we are and whose we are and how we are and how all of this fits together and where we have power, how does that work in a system that is, I think I heard it the other day, somebody was talking about our enemy. I won't identify the organization, but if we have an enemy, and I think that's something we even need to talk about, but if there is an enemy to people that look like me and you, and they have infiltrated the court system, the police system, the attorney, the state's attorney and the district attorney systems, they have infiltrated as an agenda. They have sought out to infiltrate these spaces, not only there, but also to be the one to provide the necessary trip or the necessary triggers in order to cause us to find ourselves in the clutches of a system that is governed by people that don't look out for our best interest. How can we seek to use what it is that you're teaching to help us get out from up under what it is that we're going through? Because our people, to put it bluntly, are catching hell.
Yeah, and I agree, Dr. Baruch, and we've been catching it, but again, and I'm saying it's almost like the cliche, amazing, but how can it be amazing? But because we are that people that created all of this. That's the system. The energy, the enemy has taken our system, our melanated, aboriginal, organic system, and designed it for our demise. And so at that point, hello, the only thing I can do is stand up for what I know and stand on my square. We have all of these different lecturers or, jaw jabbers about standing on your square, helping your people, saving that. No, standing on your square to me means that we all get that square. And it goes back to driving in that lane. So if you people, we people, our people are sick and tired of living on our knees versus, I mean, if I have to die today, I'll die standing, and I'm dying believing in, if you take me out, then I'm dying for what I live for. So, yes, our people are catching hell, have been catching hell, but it's time for our people to make new decisions. You're catching hell because we're energy. We create what's happening to us. So we have to do different. And again, that's my role. I understand my role. My purpose is to be able to be in places. It doesn't have to be thousands of people. It doesn't have to be hundreds of people. 1, 10, 2, 5, 12, and get it out. That's the power of 3. We have to get back to what was. I mean, we have to grow what we eat. We have to, we can't continue to allow commerce to provide for us. So again, my remedy, my answer is self-mastery. Self-mastery.
And part of self-mastery, I would expect is self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining.
So
Yeah.
we have to sustain ourselves. And when there's so much working against us, as we've seen in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we've seen in Rosewood, we've seen in the gentrification of many of our cities, we're seeing this process play out over and over and over again. When it seems as though we have a little something, all of a sudden the thing that we thought we have it's like an illusion. It really wasn't there. It didn't exist. And if you thought that you had it and you owned it and it was yours, on this piece of paper, unfortunately, you didn't read the fine print. And the fine print then, indicates that you aren't the rightful, that somebody else is,
Right.
and a whole lot of legal mumbo jumbo. So we've seen in Prince George's County in particular, the foreclosure rate where people are losing their homes is probably still the highest in the area, except for maybe Baltimore. What can we do, and what is being done to educate our people as to a solution, without going into great detail? But is there a way for us to get out from up under, this awful scourge that is just ruining our economic legacy wealth? We're losing legacy wealth. We're losing generational wealth. And it's not only because of foreclosure. There are other reasons,
Right.
and we'll get into that. But let's deal with that. What has been done? What can be done? And is that something where my audience might find value in communicating with you and making use of your resources and your talent and capability, such that you could help them get out of this situations that they find themselves where they're losing their property?
Well, wow, I'm glad you brought that up. Again, speaking only from experience and being still in the same domicile, if you will, area to push the movement. And because I literally stay away from fight the battle, because the more that we use certain terms, that's triggering or infusing our opposition, the energy from the opposition. So Prince George's County in particular, grew up in Prince George's County politics as far as a young career woman, and met a lot of people, made a lot of good relationships, business wise, otherwise, and then even buying and building a home that was renamed an embassy in the county. And again, mortgage broker for almost 19 years, and creating and nurturing, if you will, because being a teacher of helping people achieve the American dream, and by getting a mortgage, and building a client base of over 5,500 people. And that wasn't through buying leads or, knocking on doors. That was simply word of mouth. Ladies at the church said, talk to this one, her granddaughter does, what have you, word of mouth, referrals. And again, realizing and noticing the impact of self with, speaking to people. When I learned information, I gathered people together and spoke to them, because knowing what can happen to me, what would be done to me if what we were stumbling upon and what we were executing as far as legal and lawful exchanges with the court system. We need this is a movement. We need a force. It can't just be one. It can't just be two. When we're going up against the system, we have to have our own system, our own, army of warriors, if you will, our own, powers to be as far as, experts and legalese and finances and insurance. And, with my own experience learning that the court system, said, hey, look, we'd rather you not share this information because it's infectious. It's impacting us. And if you don't, then we're going to show you that, you would want to stop. Public humiliation, intimidation, and all of that. But the truth of the matter is, listening audience, is that, mortgages are fraud. And I'm going to say that, and we'll save that for another show. But we have to understand where we put our energy. Your energy is what you're signing. You're signing your nature over to another power. That wet ink, that blue ink that you exercise your hand to sign your signature. You're giving life to a piece of paper that can be converted by these people that misuse and abuse their authority to get resources, securities, finances for your piece of paper that you signed. And that's simply, I teach people, don't just listen to me, but get your books. Find it in the Black's Law Dictionary for yourself, what mortgage means, a deed pledge, what signature means. Do some etymology studying to learn the meaning of words so that you know how to navigate through your life, because, the legal system is based on words that perpetuate certain energy. And the legal system is an illusion. It's a circus. It's a court. So you have, one of the teachings is, I teach people to read their deed and their note in their mortgage disclosures with the Black's Law Dictionary and the Bible, because we have to understand that if you don't get involved to know your own truth, you stand for anything and you fall for everything. And that's what we're doing today with this election. So, we have to invest in ourselves. We have to invest in our own education to know how you going to manage your car. In the Bible, it says, be the ant. Be the ant. A convoy of ants going across the country. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on to hundreds. If one ant gets out of line, they're not going to say, Dr. Baruch, get yourself together. You got to pay that bill. You got to get up here. If you're going, no, they're going to devour his butt. You're going to eat him because he's stopping their movement. And that's what we as a people have to do. I get so blown away by people still today sugarcoating situations. The truth of the matter is we need to saddle up, pull our own bootstraps up. We need to knowledge up, know thyself, correct our own diseasements, start to learn more about yourself. And where you start is calling someone who knows how to read an astrology chart. I teach people how to read their own charts because I don't want anyone telling me what they see in my chart and how to be able to navigate or use it. But other races, other organizations, other beliefs, that's where they start. That's where they start. That's how they know Johnny's going to go to be a lawyer. That's how they know Susie's going to be a doctor at birth. At birth. That's how they know they're going to send Johnny to this school. We have to, excuse me, people, we have to, that's our science. And we have to know thyself.
Okay. Well, we've heard that a number of times today about knowing ourselves and the importance of knowing ourselves. And, you know, it's powerful when people can grasp and understand what it is that you're sharing. For some of us, you know, who are stuck in a cycle where we've been indoctrinated by a system that kind of wants to keep us dumb, there's a long journey. There's a bridge that's going to get us from where they are to what it is that you're speaking about. Is that kind of the things that you're offering in the classes that you're sharing with people, you know, here in the area? I guess probably now with the advent of the internet and you know, video, being able to transport video, you know, is this what people are coming to you in search of and getting?
Yes, a lot of people are coming on a daily basis. I have a pretty full schedule from day to day, and a lot of that fullness comes from strangers, people I meet throughout the day. Meditation is key. You know, I am helping people to be able to be still. We have to be still. You can't get anything, no type of value if you can't. You're too busy. You're too busy.
Yeah.
Too busy to be blessed.
Well, this is a pretty busy day in
Right.
American news and the American life. I'm sure you've already cast your vote, as many of us are wanting to weigh in on who's going to be the next leader over us. So what do you think about the United States political reality, and do you participate?
Well,
Yes, you do, right?
of course I do. I mean, I'm navigating through this world of commerce here in the United States of America.
Okay.
My ultimate journey is to be on a different land in the near future.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we
too.
talked
And we're
about
gonna
that.
bring that up in
Yes.
this conversation.
Okay, great. But more importantly, you know, where I am, Dr. Baruch, today is for unification and unity to be in the environment. You and I have to have self-control, self-autonomy. We have to be at a better place in our lives. You and I. You can't have unity. You can't have universe. You can't have unified. You can't have, you know, anything without that letter, you and I. And people, just wait, listen, pay attention. You are important in the universe. And with that, when America falls, we must be in position. So with all of the buffoonery that we're watching and have been watching on, if you're watching it and you're out there today, make sure you're in position for what's next. Either way, you make a decision to be different and in position to better serve yourself.
You and I spoke earlier about this place.
Yes.
That had come across my plate, and I'll speak a little bit about it. It's called Auraville. And Oroville, as is on the front page of their website, Oroville wants to be a universal town where men and women of all countries are able to live in peace and progressive harmony above all creeds, all politics, and all nationalities. The purpose of Oroville is to realize human unity. So you and I will do some research into
Yes.
whether this fits within that paradigm of what it is that we're supposed to be seeking after. It sounds nice on the front side,
Yes.
but sometimes, you got to flip a couple pages in to make sure, okay, all right. Because a lot of things look nice.
A lot of things look nice.
They do.
But we got experience, so we'll know.
Yes, indeed. Then we can
Yes.
come back and report to
Yes.
everybody and let them know what's going on here. So then, folks are racing to the polls today to cast their vote. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the vote is the election is already decided long before you go out, and I say be safe. And really today, take a look at self. I mean, just ask yourself the question. You don't have to answer. You don't have to call us and tell us what your answer is. But this is more of a self, to make today about self. Look in the mirror and say, what am I really doing? And what does it mean, or what does she mean when she says the election is already decided? And that simply means your vote doesn't count anyway, but we're going to move forward with more positivity, peace, and maintaining and getting in position for ourselves after this day.
So it sounds like it doesn't really matter. Or maybe it does matter, but who the person is doesn't matter. What it is that we do is what's most important.
Exactly.
What we do, regardless of whether today is Super Tuesday, there's some things that we as a people, and I want to make sure that I know who we are talking to. Who do we define as we?
Mm-hmm.
Who's we?
We, as a melanated people.
Mm-hmm.
But wait a minute, Dr. Baruch, because spiritually, beings are universal. All of us. And so with that, as a melanated woman, knowing my greatest worth, coupled with I'm a universal being. So again, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. And we all are beings. That's that in Black's Law Dictionary. Revised 4th edition. It says existence. The definition of existence is simple being. Entity is simple being. Existence. So with that, I mean, that's how we got to operate.
Okay. And, before we come to a close, I'm sure there are things that you might want to share with our audience, and especially if there's contact information that you would like to share with them, so that people out there would, who are searching for answers, who want to be their better self, who want to know thyself, who want to know what it is that they have the capacity to tap into. We want to make sure that you give them contact information too. But if there's anything that we have not discussed that you feel is important and should be shared with this audience, please do so. And then, we want to close with you sharing with us your contact information that you make available to the public, so that people can know where to find you.
Okay. Well, I do want to say that I challenge all listeners to at least ask yourself, who am I? And what you self want differently than what you currently have and where you are. And I've always welcomed ones to just come. I love the life that the Creator has afforded me to elevate to. I shared with my brother the other day. I said, we're growing from grown and sexy to elevated and exotic. And that's through enlightenment and empowerment. So we family, we have to shake it loose, stand tall, and we have to be about it. We have to really take charge of ourselves, of our own life, and know thyself through health. The wealth will come, and it's all spirituality. It's universal. So that's pretty much the life of Liesa L., the science of life.
Liesa
The life of science, yeah, all of that. And I can be reached via email. My email is my name, Liesael @gmail.com.
One more time.
Liesael @gmail.com. And my organization is for Safari Global Enterprise.
Okay, Safari Global Enterprise. Is that a website?
And it's a website to come.
Okay.
So we will forward information when that happens. But you can best reach me at email. That's the preferred, because my phone just rings all the time.
All right, great. We've been interviewing Sister Liesa L., and she's been informing us of a lot of things, like I said, that many of us don't know. And don't be intimidated. Don't be threatened. Don't turn away.
No.
Don't feel like, oh, that's hocus pocus, you know. Because again, it's important that we recognize that we've been conditioned and indoctrinated to not reach our full potential. So that those of us who are reaching and acknowledging the fact that we have not reached and there's work to be done, and looking for and seeking out the pathways for us to reach that full potential. And Liesa L. would be a great person for you to get in contact with so that you can begin that journey, not by yourself, but with another group of people who can give you insight and information on how to reach that sooner than later. Because we don't want to reach it in the next generation. I want it now. I want it now. I want to know that I've seen this happen. You know, what did Martin Luther King say? You know, I've seen, you know, I've been to the mountaintop. And, you know, although I may not get there, I've seen the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my thing is, I think that's cool. I think it's cool for him to have seen. I don't know that his promised land looks like what it is that we got here today.
Hello.
But I would like to see it. I want to, you know, if at some point my eyes should decide to close and not open back up, you know, in this human physical form, you know, I'd like to know that I'm closing my eyes on a situation where I have seen this thing manifest itself. Again, this is the great programming and the type of great programming that we offer here on the Not On My Watch show here on the eLife Media Network. We thank you, our loyal listeners and viewers out there, for indulging us as we present to you things that you just don't get in the mainstream media, if you will. And that's the purpose of Not On My Watch. We feel like it's our responsibility to get stuff to you that you just wouldn't get. So we provide it for you here on the Not On. It's not going to happen on my watch that you won't know. You're going to get exposed.
Yes.
So I want to thank you all for joining in with us, and please stay tuned for more great programming here on the